Chap with the white and black sweatshirt on. Your question for the guys.
Okay, my name's Alan, and I'm from England. But don't worry, one of my favourite fighters is Conor McGregor, man. I've got Irish friends as well, man. I've got Irish friends as well, man. If one of us goes to war, we all go to war. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so yeah, I got a question for everyone, right?
Ben first.
Huh?
Ben first.
Okay, Ben first. How important do you think it is, yeah, for everyone's career before they get into the UFC? There's usually like criticism saying that, oh, this guy, he's beaten a bunch of nobodies before he got into the UFC. Like Conor McGregor, he was a champion in 2 weight classes before he got into the UFC, and people like look down at that and say it's bullshit, say it's nothing. Yeah. So how important do you think it is of, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have been champions before you come into the UFC. How important do you think it is, yeah, before, you know, the records before coming to the UFC? For your career.
I'm going to take one out of Max's book here. It's about believing in yourself. You know, whether you come in with a couple of fights or 20 fights, it's in you. You know, if someone's ready and they tell their coach, I'm ready, and you're winning your fights, it doesn't matter what your competition is. If you know that you're going to beat anybody, then that's what you got to go with. So.
Would you agree with that, Max?
Yeah, you know, I agree with him. You know, I think everything that happened before UFC, it doesn't even matter, to be honest, you know, because all you guys watch only what happens in the UFC, you know, so it's, you know, go get your fights and go prove yourself when you come to the greatest organization in the world.
You know, the fights before the UFC, your amateur career as a fighter, I think it's important to get experience. You know, you don't want to come into the UFC with 2 fights and, you know, be gun shy when it's time to go, when it's here, when this is your time and you get to the UFC. So it's important that you season yourself before you get there, you know. Have some amateur fights, have a good pro career outside the UFC, get that experience, and when you're ready to come up, you know, answer that call.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have a few fights before in a smaller league before you're gonna stop in big organization like UFC, and yeah, it's very important and smart, I think.
Okay, what I'm going to ask for timing, just so we can get as many of you
Thanks
through.
very much.
Pleasure. If you could maybe pose